So more May 19th days coming up. You have Oscar Wilde, who goes to prison, and then he comes out, let's see. The Ballad of Reading Gold is a poem by Oscar Wilde, written in exile either in Berneval-le-Grand or in Dieppe, France, after his release from Reading Jail. Okay. So on May 19th, 1897. So he published it, or he got out or convicted. So he was incarcerated in Reading after being convicted of homosexual offenses in 1895 and sentenced to 2 years hard labor in prison. And so that's fucked up, right? That happened. That's not exactly a success, but he writes this book and then he makes a ton of money off the book that he wrote while he was in prison. The Ballad of Reading Jail. Okay, so that happened. Malcolm X was born on May 19th, and so was Ho Chi Minh. One of the things I think about with Malcolm X, he taught me manhood. He says that if a man ever lays their hands on you, you make sure it's the last thing they ever do. You send them to the cemetery. You send them to the cemetery. They don't lay their hands on you. So Eric Garner, when he says, "Don't touch me," and then he couldn't breathe. As soon as they put their hands on them, what can you do? As soon as you submit, they can do anything and everything. To think that an oppressor couldn't be a molester, that if they can hit your body, they can also touch it and, and get their jollies from it. So, of course, an oppressor can become a molester very easily, actually, in fact. So, May 19th, rabies treatment was perfected. The Ringling Brothers Circus premieres. Ho Chi Minh's birthday. Jose Julian Marti, a Cuban author and political activist, was killed in 1895. Oscar Wilde is released from Reading Jail. But I want to go back to Jose Julian Marti, the Cuban author and political activist, because, he was fucking killed on this day, and so therefore he is a revolutionary martyr. Jose Marti. So, let's see, he's a Cuban national hero and important figure in Latin American literature. In his short life, he was a poet, an essayist, a journalist, a revolutionary philosopher, a translator, professor, publisher, and a political theorist. Through his writings and political activity, he became a symbol for Cuba's bid for independence against Spain in the 19th century and is referred to as the apostle of Cuban independence. He also wrote about the threat of Spanish and U.S. expansionism into Cuba, and from adolescence, he dedicated his life to the promotion of liberty. So I've just been sitting for a while. Just want to stand up, right? We need to stand up anyway. Stand up and take our country back. Take our state back. This is our state. How the fuck did they take our state away from us? And in fact, that actually adds a whole nother dimension when you stand up. Okay. So, Jose Julian Marti Perez. Perfect. Okay, anyways, born in Havana, Marti began his political activism at an early age. He would travel extensively in Spain, Latin America. Okay. The United States raising awareness and support for the cause of Cuban independence. His unification of the Cuban immigrant community, particularly in Florida, is crucial to the success of the Cuban War of Independence against Spain. So he was big, the Spanish-American War. He probably got the United States into it. Born in Havana Harbor, born in Spanish Cuba, and then he dies in Dos Rios in Spanish Cuba. So he never actually gets out of Spanish Cuba. Freedom, liberty, and democracy are prominent themes in all of his works. One of his simple verses was adapted to the song Guantanamera and became the definitive patriotic song of Cuba. So something he wrote became the definitive. Cubans know who Jose Marti. They know who this man is. So, I was going to go to his death, see about his death a little bit. In 1898, Post Office authorizes the use of postcards for the first time, so we actually get to see some postcards. In 1898, Happy Postcard Day, right? Oscar Wilde, Happy Prison Liberation Day. right? Because you actually got 2 people that was liberated. No, that was on the 18th. This is May 19th. It's a whole nother day. Something about the Simplon Tunnel. I don't know if 1900, 1906. It opens on this day. Not really. On Wikipedia it didn't say so. The passage of Earth through the tail of Halley's Comet causes a near panic, just like Y2K in 2000. So that's interesting. We could actually learn something from Halley's Comet in 1910 and the panic that ensued. So Jose Marti was killed in battle against the Spanish troops at the Battle of Dos Rios near the confluence of the rivers Contra Maestre and Cuato on May 19, 1895. Gomez had recognized that the Spaniards had a strong position between palm trees, so he ordered his men to disengage. Marti was alone and seeing the young courier ride by, he said, "Joven a la carga," meaning young man, charge. This is around midday, and he was, as always, dressed in a black jacket riding a white horse, which made him an easy target for the Spanish. After Marti was shot, the young trooper Angel de la Guardia lost his horse and returned to report the loss. The Spanish took possession of the body, buried it close by, then exhumed the body upon realization of its identity. Is buried in Cementerio Santa Efigenia in Santiago de Cuba. Many have argued that Monseyo and others have always spurned Marti for never participating in combat, which may have compelled Marti to that ill-fated suicidal 2-man charge. Some of his versos sincelas had a premonitory quality. Do not bury me in darkness to die like a traitor. I am good, and as a good man I will die facing the sun. The death of Marti was a blow to the aspirations of the Cuban rebels inside and outside of the island, but the fighting continued with alternating successes and failures until the entry of the United States into the war in 1898. So, yeah, it seems like he died kind of for no reason. But anyways, he died today, right? Big Cuban revolutionary. And that's when the Spanish-American War, we jump in. And where did Cuba go? Because, we took over Cuba. That's why we got Guantanamo Bay. Also, 1898, when we became an empire. We took over not just Cuba, but we also took over Guam, Philippines, and a whole bunch of other shit. So, that was the beginning of the end right there. So, while I'm for Cuban independence, and I guess in the long run he became, he pitted empires against each other, kind of like what America did, right? Just pitted 2 empires against each other. And then, laughed all the way to the bank. Laughed all the way to the damn bank. So, what else we got going on May 19th, 1910, passage of the Earth through the tail of Halley's Comet. So, the near panic almost happens. You got Halley's Comet, which comes around every 86 years or so. The next one is going to come hopefully in my lifetime, 2061. 61, so that's, another 6 years, 46 years. 46, I'll be, 79 years old. I'll be nearly 80 years old. Hopefully I can make it to, that's where I'm aiming for. Now, I'm going to try to make it to Halley's Comet the next time Halley's Comet comes back. So, it's supposed to come back. The 1910 pass of the Earth was especially close, and thanks to the expansive newspaper coverage, eagerly anticipated by the general public. In fact, Earth's orbit carried it through the end of the comet's 24 million mile long tail for 6 hours on May 19th, earning the story of the day's banner headline in the New York Times. 6 hours. So the Earth's orbit carried it through the end of the comet's 24 million mile long tail for 6 hours. I don't know what it's trying to say here. But something that it came really close. So they was right, I guess, to kind of be nervous about it. It could have just smacked into the Earth, right, and just knocked us off course, and then we'd be floating in the middle of the universe, just floating on by, hoping to find the sun to latch onto. While most reporters of the day turned to astronomers to get the facts straight, the yellow press chose to pursue the story in more fanciful ways, helping to fuel the fears of an impressionable that the end of the world was nigh. Despite some published reports leading up to the event, the comet's tail did not contain poisonous gases, and there was never any danger of celestial collision. Either in China, doomsday rumor mongers were being arrested. So in China, they actually fucking arrested people if they're like, oh my god, this comet's going to destroy, Y2K is going to destroy it all. Come with me, sir. I'm going to put you in jail. Which is, I don't know, that's, free speech or whatever, but that's like, ew. You don't want the people to be causing panics, but I was thinking free speech here, so everybody could just cause a panic whenever the fuck they want to. And maybe because everybody's calling for apocalypse, either everybody's afraid of it happening all the time, or nobody's afraid of it ever happening. It's just all the time. Everybody, you say that every year, fuck it. So, the New York Times, most reporters of the day turned to astronomers to get the facts straight. The yellow press chose to pursue the story in more fanciful ways, helping to fuel the fires. I already mentioned all this. There's one more thing. They were selling pills. There's going to be a poisonous gas that's coming into America. So, if you just buy this pill, then Halley's Comet, the poison off of Halley's Comet won't get to you. And I did actually hear that there was some sort of poison or something that was detected. 1921, Congress passed the Emergency Quota Act, establishing national quotas for immigrants. Sad day. 1921, May 19th. Halley's Comet's actually a really good thing. I probably should bump that up to the top. That's a good celebration, in 2061. It was one of the first times, too, Halley predicted science would actually, this comet's going to come back. He died before it actually did, but then it did, and it donned his name forever. So his sort of celestial understanding of the universe was actually backed up with evidence, after he made up the theory. So KDP, Communist Revolts, KPD, 1923. So it looks like Kentucky Police Department, but it's not that. It's in German Ruhr, R-U-H-R cities occupied by the Allies. So there's communist revolts in 1923. I don't know. It's just a sentence that I found. May 19th, 1925, Malcolm X is born. 1928, May 19th, fire damp explodes in Mather Paul coal mine, killing 195 of the 273 miners. So in Pennsylvania, Mather, Pennsylvania, coal mine, fire damp explodes, and it kills almost everybody. 195 miners, fucking dead, 1928, dead. You want to talk about the coal mining industry, 1928, Jesus. White women win voting rights in South Africa on this day, 1930, May 19th. May 19th, 1932, National Anthem memorizing resolution submitted to the U.S. House of Representatives by Charles A. Fuller or Claude A. Fuller. I don't know what that's about. T.E. Lawrence of Arabia, died in 1935. British author and soldier T.E. Lawrence, also known as Lawrence of Arabia, died from injuries sustained in a motorcycle crash. 1939, May 19th, Winston Churchill signs the British-Russian Anti-Nazi Pact. 1944, 240 gypsies transported to Auschwitz from Westerbork, Netherlands. Sad day. 1944, German defense line in Italy collapsed. Good day. So on the same day, right, 240 gypsies are transported to Auschwitz from the Netherlands, but also the German defense line in Italy collapsed. So a good and bad day, right, of war. 1946, Dutch Cooperation for Sexual Reform. NVSH forms in Amsterdam, 1946. 1951, the United Nations begins counter-offensive in Korea. So I don't know what that's about. 1953, nuclear explosion in Nevada, fallout in St. George, Utah. So we're practicing nuclear bombs in Nevada. In St. George, Utah, there's a fallout. Is Nevada and St. George, Utah pretty close? Probably right after the fallout was in St. George. And why is the UN beginning counteroffensive in Korea? That starts the Korean War, and then don't we lose? Why was the United Nations involved? What the fuck? 1954, Postmaster General Summerfield approves CIA mail opening project. 1954, May 19th. Postmaster General Summerfield approves CIA mail opening project. Like, what the fuck? 1958, U.S. and Canada form the North American Air Defense Command, NORAD, right? But Cheney called NORAD to stand down during 9/11. 1959, the USS Triton, the first submarine with 2 nuclear reactors, was completed. Belgian Parliament requires rest day for the self-employed. 1960, May 19th. May 19th, 1962, the United States performs a nuclear test at Christmas Island. Just an atmospheric nuclear test, so we just explode a fucking bomb in the atmosphere. No, nothing to look at, nothing to worry about here. Also in 1962, Marilyn Monroe sang Happy Birthday to President JFK. So while she's singing birthday to JFK, they're blowing up nuclear bombs in the sky. And I think Marilyn Monroe was actually against nuclear bombs or something. She was against something like really big. 1965, Patricia R. Harris named first U.S. black female ambassador to Luxembourg. So the first U.S. black female ambassador was named in 1965. 1967, the U.S. bombs Hanoi, the capital, I think, of North Vietnam, maybe. So the U.S. bombs Hanoi in 1967, and because they bombed Hanoi in 1967, May 19th, which is also Ho Chi Minh's birthday, in 1972, 5 years later, the Weather Underground is going to bomb the Pentagon. So the Pentagon's been bombed before by college, Ivy League, students. The Students for Democratic Society who just wanted to end the war. It was bombed. So the USSR ratifies treaty with Britain and U.S. banning nuclear weapons in space in 1967. That's a great thing to celebrate. The USSR ratifies treaty with Britain and U.S. banning nuclear weapons in space. So that's awesome. Everybody says, all right, nukes in space, that's a little too much, all right? 1968, pirate radio Brumble of Northern England is first heard. Another good-ass fucking holiday. So, you could start your own fucking radio, right? The nuclear, all the practicing and testing and shit, that sucks. So whenever there is like some sort of nuclear deproliferation, that's always a success. So I think those should be sort of the holidays that will last through all time. May 19th, 1971, Mars 2, USSR, the first Mars impact launched. So I don't know if they actually made it there or not. I got a bird that's living basically like in a hole on the side of my trailer that's on top of like where the oven and thing goes. So they're there and they're always fucking with me. I need to go outside and take it off. And oh god, it annoys me. But they're like little birds now, he had to put a nest in, or she put a nest in it and had some babies. And so now I'm gonna feel a little bit bad, but I'm gonna have to do something with it. There's a frog in my cistern too that I had to take care of today. And I don't know, I was pretty that's a contamination problem, right? Fucking frog shitting all over your water. I'm seeing tadpoles in my drinking water. So, and I was nervous about jumping into the cistern, but it turns out that, it's not as deep as I had thought that it was. So that's good news. That's good news. Now I know I can get in there, and I got the frog out. I felt bad about the frog. I put it on the corner of the house. Hopefully it'll live. I don't want anything to get a hold of it, but it can't be in my drinking water. And I don't want any, like, animals, dogs kind of come and go off the property, so I don't want them to get a hold of it, and I don't know what I'm going to do with these birds. I need to remove these birds. It's fucking ridiculous. It's sitting there poking at my shit all fucking day. It wakes me up, and it's fucking annoying shit. Okay? It's annoying me right now. I can't even do this because it's fucking... I got a little bit of daylight today. That was one of my... I should do that. Okay, I'm going to finish this up and get on that. So... Mars 2, I love all the space exploration stuff. That's Russia. It's the first Mars impact, so I guess they was going to send it to Mars. 1971. Now, bombing of the Pentagon in retaliation for the U.S. bombing raid in Hanoi. The date was chosen for it being Ho Chi Minh's birthday on May 19th, 1972. Ho Chi Minh's birthday. The Weather Underground placed a bomb in the women's bathroom in the Air Force wing of the Pentagon. The damage caused flooding that destroyed computer tapes holding classified information. Other radical groups worldwide applauded the bombing, illustrated by German youths protesting against American military systems in Frankfurt. This was in retaliation for the U.S. bombing raid in Hanoi. Everything was absolutely ideal on the day I bombed the Pentagon, he writes. This is Ayers. Bill Ayers. But then comes a disclaimer. Even though I didn't actually bomb the Pentagon, we bombed it in the sense that weathermen organized it and claimed it. So he acts like, I was there, but not really. He goes on to provide details about the manufacture of the bomb and how a woman he calls Anna placed a bomb in a restroom. No one was killed or injured, though damage was extensive. So that's amazing. That's amazing. Anna put the bomb in the restroom, right? How did they get to the Pentagon? The Pentagon! They bombed the fucking Pentagon. It's amazing. you know. But it was for, you know, in retaliation for the bombing of Hanoi, and this is just one of many targets for the Weather Underground. And they're still alive today. Bill Ayers and Bernardine Dorn, you know, they're professors. They just kind of walk, they just stroll, talking about things. They're still pissed off at the military-industrial complex, so I don't know if it was good or bad. I mean, we're bigger and badder than we've ever been before. 1978, May 19th, Pioneer Venus 1, U.S. was launched. 1971, USSR launches Mars 2, the first spaceship to crash land on Mars. Okay. So I'm going back, and I'm trying to do it in chronological order, but that was 71, 78, Pioneer Venus 1 was launched. 1972, U.S. performs a nuclear test at Nevada test site. May 19th, 1972, WMAV TV channel 18 in Oxford, Mississippi, PBS begins broadcasting. I don't know. Is that the first time ever in Mississippi that they had TV, or the America or something? That might be something, right? WMAV TV channel 18 in Oxford, Mississippi, PBS begins broadcasting. 1976, Senate established Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. So forever, the Select Committee on Intelligence will forever be in existence. 1976, USSR performs nuclear test at Eastern Kazakh Semipalatinsk, USSR. 1981, 5 British Army soldiers are killed when their armored vehicles ripped apart by Provisional Irish Republican Army roadside bomb near Besbrook, County Armagh. 1983, NASA launches Intelsat V satellite number 506. 1983, Weird Al Yankovic gives a live performance at Wax Museum in Washington, D.C. King of Suede by Weird Al Yankovic hits number 62 in 1984 on May 19th. 1986, anti-apartheid activist Helene Pastor sentenced to 10 years in South African prison. 1987, first American Comedy Award show or something. 1989, Dow Jones average passes 2,500 mark for the first time, closes as 2501.1. 1991, Willie T. Ribbs becomes the first African-American driver to make the Indianapolis 500. 1995, May 19th, world's youngest doctor, Bala Murali Ambati, 17, graduates Mount Sinai. 1996, STS-77 Endeavour 11 launches into orbit. STS-77 was the 77th Space Shuttle mission and the 11th mission of the Space Shuttle Endeavour. The mission began from Launch Pad 39B from Kennedy Space Center, Florida on May 19th, 1996, lasting 10 days and 40 minutes and completing 161 revolutions before landing on runway 33. So if you want fucking revolution, that's how you do it. You just get in the STS-77 Endeavour 11 Space Shuttle Endeavour, fly up into space, fucking, just do revolution after 161 revolutions. And I don't know if they're talking about around the world or just barrel rolls. I would say probably around the world. In 10 days they went, 161, it had been revolution. Just circles? What the, I don't understand. This mission doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe around the moon? I don't know, it was in 96. So, all those space shuttle missions are definitely worthy of celebration. May 19th, 2007, Sicko, a documentary on the U.S. health system directed by Michael Moore, has its premiere at the Cannes Film Festival. I've actually never seen it yet. It says the battery's low. I only got 2 more things, man. Sri Lanka announces a victory in its 27-year war against the terrorist organization, Liberation Tigers of Tamil. I don't know who actually I support on that. I have to look at that closer, but the Tiger Tamils lost. They've been fighting 27 years, and they got smashed just 6 years ago. Then in 2161, Zygi, 8 of the 9 planets will be aligned on the same side of the sun. So in 2161, it'll be 150 years, 40 years from now, I'll be dead. This will never happen, but a Syzygy, 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 It's whenever there's, you know, a sun, a moon, and an earth on 3 big celestial bodies in a row. But 8 of the 9 planets will be aligned on the same side of the sun. Aligned. I mean, I can't wait. 2161, May 19th. Mwah! Peace out, Kentucky.